What's up, bro?
How the hell was that so hard? I know I'm the youngster in the group, so I'm gonna have my 2-year-old granddaughter set me up with this, but I'm good to go now. I'm good to go now.
Awesome, man. Awesome. It's great to have both of y'all on here. First, before we get into the topics for tonight, DDP, congrats on the wedding, man. Big thing, man. Congrats, man.
You know, the truth was, I knew I was going to marry my baby this year. She just didn't know when. And I set it up perfectly up in Chattanooga, Tennessee, where we reunited 2 years earlier. And she had no idea. She thought we were going to a red and white Christmas party. She had this gorgeous red evening gown on, and I was all decked out in my Hikari suit. And as we were getting ready to leave, she looked over and saw someone with a camera, and she said, are we doing this now? Is this it? And I go, yeah, baby. And she looked and saw her family. Our family was there, and she started crying, and she thought that was it. And then we walked into where we were going to get married, and 100 other more people were there. Enzo Mori came in, Big Cass, Ice Train, RVD was there, Katie Forbes. It was a blast, man. A great time.
Love it. Absolutely love
it. What about I saw the beautiful group photo. What about Eric Watts trying to get right in the middle of that photo, bro?
That's my boy, man. That's my boy. Hey, that's who put me and you back together.
Yes. I love Eric, man. Love Eric, bro.
He's a good human being, man.
Yeah,
good human being.
Yeah, I'm actually I'm actually very good friends with Harold Ice Train. So that's awesome, dude.
That's my boy. I got him in back when I saw the mass of that man and the shoot 25-inch arms and him pumping with 600 pounds on the bench. And he had so much charisma. And I brought him the Bischoff. And I'm like, that guy could really be money. And it was, it's funny when you're younger. I tried to guide him just to be him because today he would be money. He looks unbelievable at 55. He's still jacked. He trains hard. He's down to like 270. He looks amazing right now. He's the only one. I was calling for him to come to get in the group picture, but he wasn't in it because we were freezing outside. So finally we took it, and then 10 minutes later he showed up. I was like, dude.
Yeah. He actually texted me today, I think it was, and he said congrats on the show. So yeah, that's my guy, man. So
great guy, man. Great guy.
Cool. Before we go into the topics, Paige, you actually got some big news for us this week, man. You're going to be on the Austin podcast.
Oh yeah, right. Steve and I we filmed that about, I guess, a couple weeks ago, and we had so much fun, and we started drinking wine. And we were 3 bottles in by the time we got to the end of it. Me and Austin lived together. So that was the most in-depth. I probably was on his podcast, I don't know, friggin' 10, 15 times because anybody couldn't show. He'd pick up and go, D, can you slide in? I go, when? He goes, 15 minutes? Yeah. So we talked about everything, but on that show, he's not even calling it a podcast. The show that he's doing, we went for over 2 hours, man. We talked about stuff we never talked about. So that'll be up there on the Peacock this week. And I just got another thing that we put together. Me and Jake the Snake, and we'll put it out there right now. It's going to be called DDP Snake Pit, and we're going to be doing that with Conrad. And
very nice.
The master. So a lot of good things happening right now.
Awesome. Congratulations, man. Big things going on for Paige. All right, so let's start off with the, oh my God, moment of the week. We got Xia Li debuting on SmackDown. There was over the past few weeks, there's been some issues with Naomi and the official. There's still not a GM. She's a WWE official, Sonya Deville. And that led to a match between Naomi and Sonya Deville, which led to Shayna Baszler being the timekeeper and Natalya being the referee. They jumped Naomi, and all of a sudden, this Mortal Kombat type of entrance comes with a lot of electric coming out of her eyes and her mouth and her hands and a lot of martial arts type of thing. Xia Li, as the protector, comes out, and that's what her gimmick is. She's been having vignettes for the past few weeks as the protector, and I guess she's going to protect Naomi. Let's start off with Paige. What do you think about the debut of Xia Li?
First of all, I'll say they put some work into that entrance, because I've never seen an entrance like that. And so much of everything in our business is entrance, you know. And I thought it was pretty badass. It reminded me of Glacier. If you go back to '96, and when they did that, they got a little letter, WCW, from Mortal Kombat saying "good luck." And they had to pull it. So all of a sudden, Blood Runs Cold ran really cold for a while, and they didn't get to put it out there. And doing the same whole, because Ray was a black belt, third-degree black belt in karate, Ray Lloyd, and great human being. But what happened in between when it actually debuted and when it started? NWO. So, like Canyon, I'll never forget it. Canyon walked up to me, goes, "Our push is over, isn't it?" I was like, "Hey, who knew?" Like, at that time when we were putting that all together, that would have happened. And I thought they had a good run, and I thought the stuff with the blue, you'd have to tell me if they did that in post or whatever, because I can't see them doing that kind of a laser show every night. And what I always look at, like with a finish, can you do it on anybody from anywhere?
Right.
You know what I mean? Can you do that entrance? Because they've got a lot of big, grandiose entrances in the beginning that you can't do in the house show.
True.
So it kind of leaves you hanging. I thought the girl was beautiful and a legit badass. That's what I thought,
Yeah. Vince, what do you think of the entrance?
I agree with Paige, bro, because a lot of times, man, you'll see a great entrance like that, but then, like Paige said, bro, this has to work for the house show and every arena you go to, and all of a sudden, over time, it gets very much watered down. But I have to tell you, bro, I enjoyed the entrance. I thought the vignettes they did with her were really creative and good. However, Chris, like we just spoke about earlier, while I'm watching this, I'm thinking of Asuka. And I'm thinking, man, Asuka came in with this big bang, and, bro, she was great, terrific, great entrance, colorful, and they've kind of let her die on the vine. With something like this, bro, this has to be week after week after week after week. The WWE tends, bro, to go, balls to the wall for the first couple of months, but then everything tends to fizzle out. I hope they stay true to this girl. I think they can get this over.
Let me ask a question here. Is she Chinese or is she Japanese? She's Chinese, isn't she?
Yeah, I think she's Chinese. Yeah.
Now is she legit? Like, because that girl could work. Like,
I followed her in NXT, and she's pretty good. She's good. When she was in NXT, she didn't really have much of an opportunity to show her skills as much. They kind of had her as a babyface role, and then she got into a heel role for a second. It was just kind of odd and weird. So when they actually brought her up to the main roster, I was like, that's a bit of a surprise, because Xia Li wasn't pushed as much in NXT to bring her to the main roster. So it was a surprise. To me, she has it. She looks great. She actually has a lot of skill. I just wish that this protector gimmick would have been utilized in a better slot. I don't think that this protector gimmick fits the Naomi and Sonya Deville type of role. So it seems like they may have maybe a tag team match up with her and Natalya. Natalya's just kind of thrown in there too. It's just kind of a weird spot to put it. So I hope that it doesn't become DOA just because it was just kind of misplaced. I think there's potential to it. I just wish that it doesn't take away from the Naomi and Sonya Deville angle that's going on, and she gets kind of pushed to the backside because she's kind of coming in that slot. So we'll see what happens. Vince?
Yeah, no, Chris, it's funny when you say the protector thing. It would have been real interesting, bro, if they would have had these vignettes running at the same time, and then all of a sudden it fits the Naomi storyline. Every time Naomi's in trouble, lights out, lights up, everybody's down. I mean, again, bro, it's the WWE, bro. You know, I mean, word has it they're writing a lot of this stuff the day of, and because they're not planning things out, you're kind of getting something like this that it's like, man, that debut could have been a lot more special.
Yeah, I agree. I like the lights out thing. They just kind of laid out, and then the protector code. I like that. Did y'all see Hook debut at AEW?
Did you see who's Hooks?
Did you see Hook's debut in AEW?
That kid's got it. That kid, he has a, being a second generation, and his dad. I met him when they were filming the Sting thing with Darby that they did with it was the theatrical. Because my company, we do so much filming for them. So I went up there to check it out, what was happening, and I got to see Taz and met Hook, super kid, handsome son of a bitch. Like, friggin' Taz's wife must be drop dead gorgeous because he ain't. He's a macho looking dude, but he ain't that kid. Like that kid. He's stupid handsome, but like the kind of, he's got the it factor where women are going to love him and guys want to hang with him, have a beer. And he had great hair, but his work in the ring is not that of a guy having a debut. Right? Mm-hmm. He threw a lot of shooting shit in there. He's obviously been, a shooter for a long time because of his dad, and how he was raised. I'm going to tell you who he is. He's the young Marlon Brando of wrestling.
He's got a lot of potential. They kind of had him as a lackey before his debut, which I didn't like. He was just kind of taking a lot of bumps before. I wish they would have protected him a lot more before they put him out there from a debut standpoint. To me, following AEW every week and watching it, he usually was the one who took a lot of bumps,
he's a kid.
Yeah. I guess that's his initiation, huh? Yeah.
You in this scenario, I don't think anybody thought he would have that match. And Fugo, or however you say his name, he's a hell of a worker too.
Yeah, Fuego,
Fuego. You can't have a bad match with that kid.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's good.
He did a lot of shit that was like, you could tell it was a mixture of judo, shooting and turning. And when wrestling is really great, when you shoot, shoot, and you work.
Yeah.
And I thought he did a hell of a job.
Yeah. Vince, did you see Hook's debut?
Yeah, I did, bro. It's funny because, I worked with Taz a lot at TNA. And, bro, I always heard about his kid because, bro, when Taz was on commentary, bro, this kid was a lacrosse god. I mean, from the time he was a little kid, man, when Taz says he was like, top 100 lacrosse, I mean, all that was a shoot. Bro, what I love about him, bro, is I'm going to give you the yin and the yang here. Here's what I love about him. Bro, I love blue chip athletes. I just love them. And because you could tell when somebody is just a great athlete. This kid is a great athlete, bro. But I got to tell you, man, because I'm thinking about this as I'm watching his debut. Bro, I know Taz, and I love Taz. But him being Taz's kid is not going to be easy.
No,
it's going to be hard, bro. Bro, Taz is not the kind of guy that keeps his mouth shut and doesn't give his opinion. He's not that guy. So it's going to be tough for this kid. But
Yeah.
yeah, bro, like Paige said, man, this is a blue chip athlete through and through. The only thing I wish he wouldn't have done, Chris, and maybe somebody will tell him this and they'll tweak it. I just wish he wouldn't have acknowledged the audience. Like, he kind of came out. He was, but then when he started, I don't think that works for him. But I mean, outside of that, I thought it was a great debut.
Yeah, I think that's something, Vince, where he'll go back with his dad. And this is where, like, I was lucky I had Jake, so, and Taz being there, because Taz was a part of that transitional, like, old school, new school, so I think he'll sit down with his old man and go, see what you did there? Why'd you do that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, don't do that.
And Taz has that trainer style role to him, just inherently. To be able to do that with this kid and look at footage and stuff like that, it can only get better from here. I agree with that for sure.
But he's got. There's certain. It's tough to have that reaction.
Yeah.
From people. I love that it was very Jake the Snake-ish, where Jake would lay down in the corner. Friggin' Raven took that. I took hanging in the corner.
Yeah.
He didn't even face him. Put his back to him.
Yeah.
I liked his mannerisms from the way out. He came out with swag. Yeah. I think the kid's got a really bright future in a world of not being a lot of big guys there. And he's got a really bright future there.
Agreed. Let's take a bro down memory lane, fellas. So we're going to settle the debut tonight. All right. We'll start with Vince this time because I don't want any biases. All right. The question is, which one, RKO or the Diamond Cutter, bro?
I'll tell you what, you're not going to get a bias because I'm an original guy. Who was the originator, bro? Like, I'm sorry, I'm always going to go with the guy that originated it. Nothing against Orton. I think Orton's a great performer. Bro, that's Paige, bro. That's Paige's baby. Paige originated that, and he will always be king of the Diamond Cutter, bro.
So, Paige, did you get any of it from the Ace Crusher? Were you inspired by the Ace Crusher, though?
No, Johnny Ace brought me down and said, here's my move. You should do it. He grabbed them like this, and he made the peace sign, and he kicked his feet out. I went, okay, I'll try that. And I walked over to Regal, who was there that day, and I said, you've been doing this cravat thing with me, so if I grab him here like this. So Regal had already shown me how to do it, but I said, I'm going to do that with that. So I reached through. So when you put that cravat, like, you ain't going anywhere.
Right.
You do this, you can go wherever you want.
Yeah.
But when you do this and you lock that in, I can take you down. If you don't go with me, you go.
Yeah.
And I had a mentor and a teacher, of course. Without Dusty Rhodes, there is no Diamond Dallas Page. But without Jake Roberts being in my corner, and you'll hear a lot, because those first two weeks of Snake Pit, DDP Snake Pit, we're going to be talking about, because people know what I did with Jake with the resurrection of Jake the Snake, but they don't know why. Well, they're going to find out why in that. And one of the things that Jake would do, he's the first guy to take stuff out of nowhere. He's the first guy. He would pop it as something, and bam, DDT.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And Jake talks about on that show how that happened, why that happened.
Yeah.
And I watched, so there was some guy who came up to Jake and gave him 82-hour tapes of just Jake Roberts.
Mm-hmm.
Jake was living with me at the time. I took him home and I watched every single get over enhancement match to stuff with him. And, Ted DiBiase does not get the credit how great Ted DiBiase was as a worker. Him and Jake together is like magic on top of magic. And it was Jake's out of nowhere. And one night I did it to an enhancement guy, and he went to get, take me, and I held the rope, and I reached up and I pulled him down. And it was an enhancement guy. And he looked at me, blowing his cigarette. He goes, "Now you're learning."
There it is.
That move made me. Without that move, I'm not a Hall of Famer. I'm not a 3-time world champion. That move could come out of nowhere. And Randy, he put his own twist on it, you know, and I thought he did a hell of a job with it. And he did some diamond cutters that I don't think I could do. I mean, some of this stuff, Randy Orton is one of the greatest athletes ever in our business.
Agreed.
The size, the look, the talk. I've got more respect for him than most of the guys. I mean, he's at the top of the ladder for like, wow, dude, you really did a great job. And I loved him having we have a picture of me, him, and Johnny together at Mania. And it was, mine is the original, but he put his own twist on it. And I put, what was funny, and I never knew this happened, but Ace, later, after he started seeing me do that, he started doing all the out of nowhere stuff out in Japan.
Japan, yeah. Now, for Jake with the DDT, if I'm not mistaken, correct me if I'm wrong, Paige, wasn't it like some type of semi-accident when he was with the Legion of Doom in Georgia, right?
Not Legion of Doom. He was with it was, I think it was in Portland, and I can't remember his name, but he was a great worker, and he was the booker.
Okay.
And Jake went to grab him and do the front face lock thing, and he was walking him back, and he tripped. And he fell down.
Yeah, that was
and
it.
The crowd went, whoa.
Yeah.
And Jake got up and he looked around like, I didn't fall down. You're like, right. I didn't fall down. And Denton, Lenny Denton is his last name. Can't remember his first name right now. Gene Denton, Bill Denton. I can't remember his first name, but I want to say it's Len Denton.
Yeah.
Len laid there.
Yeah.
He did not move.
Yeah.
And I can't remember if it was over or whatever. Yeah, like that's a moment. And if you look at Jake, everything was a snap. Everything, it's all the whoo. But you can get the crowd to do that, then you're owning at a different level, you know?
Yeah. Personally, I'm a diamond cutter. I prefer the diamond cutter just because of the grip. You know what I mean? Of the grip for me. But I agree, Paige.
Bro, did you just try to show Paige your muscles there, bro?
The grip.
Yeah, I know what you did. bro.
The grip.
I know you like a book. I know you like a book, man.
It's the grip.
Unbelievable, man.
You know it. Actually, I wasn't trying to do that, but I think you wanted me to, Paige. You wanted me to, Vince. But that's okay though. I got one for you. All right, let's close it up. So, just a really, really short synopsis of. Here's the question. All right, Goldberg has one more match left in his contract. Paige, who does he compete against?
Well, I can't remember. Did he work with Roman already? He worked with Roman, right?
No, he worked with Lashley. There was a lot of he was supposed to work with Roman, and then Roman went out, and he ended up working with Strowman for WrestleMania.
Well, to me, if he hadn't worked with Roman, he got to put Roman over on the way out.
There you go.
And plenty of people put Billy over, and he's still to be going at 50 years old. He had a hell of an impact in the game, man, and I loved working with him. And if you look back to our match at Halloween Havoc in 1998, and think about that, here we are in 2000, about to be 22. That was 24 years ago, and Bill Goldberg is still at the highest level. Means something. It's got to be a top guy. It's got to be make it on the way out. But I think Roman would have a hell of a match with him. Roman is tremendous in the ring at this point. He's the guy. He's the dog.
Absolutely. Vince, Goldberg has one more match. Who is it?
I gotta disagree with that a little bit, and I'll tell you why. Because Goldberg, his WWE run, and especially late, bro, he's been beaten. People have beaten Goldberg. So Reigns beaten Goldberg on his way out. I don't think it really means anything. In my opinion, I think it should be somebody the WWE really wants to build and get over. So, I'm just going to throw this out there. But again, Chris, I don't know how serious they are. But, bro, if they want to really get an Austin Theory over or somebody like that, that's going to mean something. I just don't think Reigns beating Goldberg would mean anything. That's the only thing.
I'm just calling it out because it could be money, but you're right.
Yeah.
But who's the guy? Like, if it would have been years ago, before Bray had taken off, that would have been awesome. That's what, to me, Take should have put him over, and he should have been the new Undertaker. That's the way but then, we can say anything we want. Because up there it just changes. And
right.
It's different.
Exactly.
It's just different. Like,
yep.
I don't know why they do some of the things, but hey, I don't have the multi-billion-dollar company either. So
yeah. Hey, Chris, what are you doing over? Did Paige insult you, Chris?
I'm having a conversation. What are you talking about, Vince? Vince Russo. Austin Theory.
Austin Theory. Maybe think of mumbling Vince when you said Austin Theory, Vince.
Yes. Yes.
I was getting my mumbling Vince right. So listen, I like the Austin Theory idea. Actually, I like the Roman idea too. Roman idea makes sense. Austin Theory idea actually is a decent idea. It's hard for me to see that though from a standpoint of how they are already booking Theory. I think it kind of that. I would really scale back on emasculating him and doing the selfie thing if they really want to make him defeat Goldberg. To me, I'm thinking of if Goldberg has one more match, he's been beating he's been losing against a lot of people.
Yeah.
So if he has one more match in his contract, to me, I'm a big WrestleMania guy. Big spectacular type of spectacle type of thing. I don't mind the babyfaces winning a lot at WrestleMania because it's supposed to have that feel-good moment to it. So I would go against someone who can actually accentuate a lot of his weaknesses that he has at almost 56 years old. As a 56-year-old person, there's going to be some slower moments than when you were 35. Unless you're doing DDP yoga, by the way. So
that would help.
Cheap plug. But for me, if we're doing a WrestleMania match, I'm thinking of like a Seth Rollins because Seth Rollins can go. He can really dance with anybody in the WWE right now. Yeah, and I think to someone to accentuate, just his positives. And someone who can really compare and complement his style, it would be like a Seth Rollins to me. Now, I would have him go over Rollins, actually. Or if you want Rollins to go over Goldberg, it really doesn't matter. I just think if you're doing one more match with him, a Seth Rollins would be a good person to go as far as really dancing with him and really bringing out his positives.
So let's go off of this for a second because I know we're running over time right now, but who saw the Hangman Page and Danielson? Did you see that match in AEW?
Yeah.
Like, I thought when I watched the Omega match with Danielson, I thought that's the match of the year. Like, those guys just tore it down. Mm-hmm. They went Broadway, and then they went longer Broadway. And I thought Hangman, that kid's young. He might be in his late 20s, but he's still young in the business, was a teacher before he went to Japan. And Cody told me 3 years ago that guy has the potential to be the man here. And
Yeah, he is.
they do.
Yeah.
They had Danielson coming back from the concussions and all of that. He's a beast. He is. I will never forget Steven Regal when I was at WWE up there. They were in Atlanta. I just showed up to say hello to the boys, and he pulled me over and introduced me to him. And he said, "Watch this kid. It's going to be a big star." And he was a huge star over there. Mistake to let him go, but they never saw him in that spot. You know what I mean? Over here, he could be appreciated at a different level. And man, that kid, he's the number one wrestler in the world right now, as far as I'm concerned.
Very nice.
You know.
So, and to come full circle as we close up, when it comes to Paige, going back to entrances, how we started the show. I'm a huge fan of good entrances, and I think an entrance can really make or break someone. You know, when you think of the Glass Shatter, you think of Paige. When you think of Austin, when you think of the Gong, you think of the Undertaker. When you think of the Real American Drum Strummer, you think of Hogan. An entrance really can make or break a superstar.
Sure.
And Adam Page's entrance, I always tell people you have to pass the WrestleMania test. Can you be among 60, 70, 80,000 people and your theme music come on and you have that walking down the ramp, big feel to it? And I think Paige's theme passes the test. So circling back to entrances, I think that really, really helps this character.
So let me ask you, so you think that thing with walking with the horse and all that, did you love that?
Yeah, I love it.
That was shot by my business partner, Steve.
Very nice. Nice.
Our company's called Comeback Studios, and that was something that Steve. I don't let him go out and shoot much stuff anymore. Like we sent our other guys who are really good, but on something like that, Steve goes, "Let me run something by you," and I was like, "I love it. Can't wait to see it," because it was something new that we'd never done before.
Yeah.
And he nailed it, man. And it's good because it helps take that kid to another level. You know?
Sure does. Absolutely. DDP, while you're at it, man, let the listeners know what you got coming up and where to find you on social media.
Well, right here on Instagram at Diamond Dallas Page and at DDP Yoga. And what we got coming up is, we got the DDP's Snake Pit as far as another show with Conrad Thompson, who's just killing it. We're his 8th podcast. So we're looking forward to that.
Conrad is an amazing host, but he doesn't have the guns like Dr. Chris.
No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't. But I'm happy to be here too, man. Now that I know how to get on.
Yes, indeed. Vince Russo, where can I find you, my man?
Just go to russosbrand.com, man. Just go there, and that'll send you everywhere else you need to go. russosbrand.com. That's it, man.
Perfect.
I like that.
Perfect. Awesome. Find me at Dr. Chris at Chris Prolific. Listen, this guy, Diamond Dallas Page, that guy, Vince Russo. I'm Dr. Chris. This is the Bro Show. Hold on, we're going to.
See ya.
Bro Show!
Bro Show!